Hello everyone, this is Bode and welcome back to Let's Play Lake of Voices. In the last episode, we got the ending for Lou's route, and it was actually really surprising. I wasn't expecting... I kind of started caring for him a little bit at the end, and I felt pretty sad actually how he ended up dying. Um, I mean, we survived the journey together. And I thought, well, in the end, maybe they'll reunite after she does what she has to do with the town. But it turns out that because he had committed some kind of crime and betrayed his people, they ended up executing him. And that was really, really sad. I was like, wow, yikes. Yeah, I don't know how I could have avoided his death. Maybe there's another route where we're able to save him or something. I don't know. I really don't know. That's something that, like, I know there's other achievements for the game and stuff. Like, in my free time, I would like to mess around and pick different options and see what I can find. But for LP purposes, I just want to get at least one playthrough of each person's route, you know? So I'm not going to go back and do another Lou route for you guys. But yeah, that's interesting. So for this episode, and who knows how many afterwards, I'm going to be on the last person who is dateable on his route, which is none other than the guide. Oh my god. This has been a long time coming. I've been waiting for this. I've been excited about this because I'm like, he's the least likable character in the whole game. There must be something interesting that's gonna come out of this. So, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Let's do it. For this one, we had to start from the beginning because everything else, I think we were kind of against the guide. But yeah, we've seen this before. Okay. So, because to save time and all of that, we're just gonna skip to choices. Because I actually have played this game so many times now that I pretty much know what's going on. Now, there might be new stuff that pops up that I'll have to stop skipping. But I think at the beginning, at least, I can skip. This is introduction. Okay. Because these are choices that are geared towards a certain character, I think in this case we have to say nothing. Which sucks, because my OT3, my beloved Margaret and Bemele, I have to kind of be cold and distant towards you guys now. I'm sorry. We each remain locked inside our own thoughts, not another word passing between us. Okay, so this will be Mr. Guide. I think we have to just say we're gonna go.
And I believe you.
I think that was the right choice. Because I think we have to go in order for us to be with the guide. Bemele's reply is firm. My steadfastness seems almost weak in comparison to its certainty. He addresses the guide.
We shouldn't waste more time. Let's shove off.
The guide slowly turns around without even a nod to show his agreement. Margaret stares at Bemele and me, something of a resolve in her gaze. Then she follows after the guide. At least she didn't insist we stay behind. Yeah, that's what it was in the beginning. It was like, who's he gonna take?
We should do what we can to protect her. It's our fault she's being put in even further danger.
Exactly my thoughts. We will take care of everything. Maybe I'm being naive, but I have no intentions of letting anyone fall victim to this lake tonight. Those monsters can starve.
And yet, last time we lost Margaret, that really sucked. Especially after saying we would protect her. Like, jeez. Turns to follow the others across. Okay, can we skip again? No, because I can't bond with you, Bemele. I can't place my hand on yours. I'm sorry. We're gonna nod seriously. Oh shoot! I see it behind you! Oh, that's really creepy. Ooh, I forgot how scary this game is. It's really creepy. Bemalay's face hardens in return. Okay, I don't think I can keep skipping for long because I'm gonna get confused once we're dealing with the monsters, so. He moves his free arm down. I fully link his arm with mine and now properly settled look forward. Margaret is following the guide with some reluctance, turning back every so often to check on us. I wave my lantern to signal we're catching up. Margaret returns her head to the front and quickens her pace. With a tug on Bemelay, we start to follow them. Oh, okay. I think we already got past the danger then. Phew. The four of us continue cautiously over the bridges. Only this time the wet, squishing footsteps of the prowler join the sound of our own. Oh, it's following us. Oof. I keep wanting to look behind me. I'm like super paranoid right now. I'm not even out on the bridges and I'm paranoid. The prowler walks without a set pattern, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. It takes long steps, then short ones. At times it stops walking entirely. Does it hurt to be out of the water like this, or is it trying to be difficult to read? Suddenly, the whispering in the lake grows louder. I steel myself, trying not to let it get to me. The most important thing in a situation like this is to remain calm. I can't lose my head. Then, all at once, I notice the guide and Margaret have come to a halt.
Bemelay, they're stopping.
Bemelay slows down as I do. As we near Margaret's back, she says with something akin to distress.
There's another one.
Oof. I tug on Bemelay and he understands. We draw up close to Margaret, ready to protect her, if need be, but the guide holds out a hand.
Don't get any closer.
Just over his shoulder, I see another prowler stumbling towards us, white liquid dripping from its eyes. Is it crying, maybe? The guide's hand turns over in the air, palm up.
Give me a lantern. We'll throw it.
Oof. Margaret extends her own with a trembling hand when Bemelay speaks instead, his back still turned.
If you have to take someone's, take mine.
Yes, an extra light won't do us much good when we're standing this close together.
Margaret takes Bemelay's lantern from him, guarded relief displayed on her features.
Thank you.
She hands the lantern to the guide, whose hand grips it tightly, knuckles growing pale.
Stay here. I can't throw it too far. The light will blow out before it reaches the Nyx.
He steps closer to the monster. Oof, so creepy looking. His movements light and confident. As he nears, the prowler starts to back away. Is it only the approaching light that's making it retreat, or are they afraid of him? Well, considering they attack him when we're on the island, I don't think they're necessarily afraid of him. The guide is far enough away from us that the fog is partially obscuring him, hiding his movements. The voices from the lake grow louder and louder. Water suddenly begins to splash across the lake, in the distance, and onto the edges of the bridge. They want him to mess up. I don't notice how tense I am until Bemelay eases my grasp on his arm. Then, suddenly, the guide takes multiple long and fast strides forward, throws the lantern, and jumps backwards to regain the lost distance. There's a sharp hiss, and then a deep splash, and the voices of the Nixie grow quieter. Not silent, but quieter. A sigh escapes me, and the guide comes back to our group.
We should keep going, before it comes back.
I glance at Bemelay and realize he, too, is looking relieved at the guide before us. And then I see it. The one behind you, you guys forgot. The first prowler, it's still there. It's right there. Pull him forward. I shift around, pulling Bemelay behind me. The prowler lunges after him, barely missing Bemelay, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out, and the two of us are plunged into an unearthly darkness. I knew y'all forgot about the one behind you. Then, there's a slick splash. I realize the Nyx has retreated into the water. Somehow, Bemele and I are still standing. We're still here.
Kikka, thank you.
I can't respond. Something cold, wet, and slimy has grabbed my ankle. Oof. Oh! Oh! My mouse was not in the right spot. Oh, that was close. Oh, shoot. I can't afford to. Oh, I forgot. That was scary. I kick my leg out as fast as I can, and the Nyx's hold slips. I can't pull with the momentum I've gained against it. Margaret rushes to my side, her lantern hanging out towards the Nyx. The light brushes its face. We see it for an instant, its eyes wide, and then it slides back into the smooth surface of the water. Bemele grabs Margaret and I both, helping us towards the center of the bridge and cussing under his breath.
I only looked away for 1 second.
Yeah.
It's fine, Bemele. We're all fine.
No, though. We're down. We lost 2 lights now.
Are you actually alright?
Margaret cocks her head down, examining my ankle, but there's nothing but a wet smudge against my trousers.
I am fine.
I say that, though I don't actually want to let go of Bemele. I need to, in order to relight our lantern and provide us actual safety. But I feel such a strong desire not to be alone in this moment. I shake my head roughly and let go of him, relighting the lantern as fast as I'm able.
Kikka, thank you. Again. You saved my life. I won't let this happen again.
Yes. Yes. It would be good for all of us to pay more attention.
Margaret nods solemnly. Suddenly, it seems like we're all on the same side. It isn't only Bemele and I. She is with us in more than simply presence. Yes, she's with you. Romantically, that's how it should be. The guide's voice, as cold as that monster's grasp, ends my train of thought.
We lost the lantern I threw. The Nyx grabbed it after the light went out.
Oof. Margaret makes a noise. I glance over, wondering whether she's upset, but there's a small smile on her face instead.
It's better than them taking anything else.
That's true. A nervous laugh bubbles up out of me and just as quickly stops. Bemele chuckles in response, and our collective tension eases up, the adrenaline draining from our bodies.
We need to keep walking.
Okay. The guide starts down the bridge again, and we join him. I try to clamp down on the relief, the ease that wants to flood my head. It's not over. The prowler is gone, but so is Bemele's lantern.
You can stay near me, Bemele, since your lantern is lost.
I appreciate it.
Okay, Margaret goes ahead. Can I skip? I want to, because I don't think we have anything guide heavy right now. It's just stuff we've seen before.
So you're staying behind?
I think that was the right choice. That the current format. Oh, wait. This is the problem with what I just did. Can I look at the history? Let's see. Seems like it's my decision. Oh, Margaret was offering Bemele to go with her? Or for us to go in the middle or something like that. I don't know if this choice really matters for the guide. Like I was saying, right now the guide isn't a huge part of the story. It's more about the 3 of them. Hopefully it's fine.
Seems like it.
Yes, I think we'll be good here.
I think if we had done what she suggested, it was more on her route, so I think we're fine.
But really, thank you. That was a very kind offer.
Well, alright.
Margaret respects our decision. Okay.
So, I don't want to sound like a child, but how much longer until we arrive at the halfway point?
Margaret chuckles. See, this is their cute OT3 flirting part, which I really enjoy, but we've seen it before. But I'm kind of nervous.
We still
Damn.
Okay, we
The
still.
first child
I think Kikka,
Okay, stop flirting.
you should know, she and I.
Yes, all your cute flirting. Alright, let's get back to the serious stuff because we need to see what else the guide has in store. After some time, I noticed Margaret isn't keeping up with the guide as much as she was before. I realize it's because the guide has increased his pace. Oh, here we go. Margaret begins to jog in an effort to keep up with him, and Bemele and I do the same. Despite this, the guide keeps getting further. I hate when he does this. Like, why? You jerk. We go faster and faster until suddenly we're full on sprinting across the slick wooden boards. Figures in the dark fog fly past us at a blur, and it occurs to me the branching paths in the bridge appear to be sinking. So because it's sinking, that's why he's running, but he should at least communicate with them, because now they're like, holy crap, why are we running? Why are you running? You know? I try hard to swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something. Oh, finally, but they can't hear him. Great. But it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. I'm trying to piece together what he said. Don't stop, turn? When he takes a masterfully sharp right down a different path, using his own momentum and the sleek wood to slide into the new direction with no loss of speed. Margaret must not have worked out the warning either, as she's completely caught off guard by the guide's change in course. She runs straight ahead, past the turn, and continues down the path we've been following up until now. She clumsily begins to halt her momentum down the wrong bridge. Then I come upon the fork. Let's go! Turn! Ooh, but then Margaret has to follow us. I make a hard turn following the guide and leaving Margaret at the rear. Bemele's footsteps stay as loud as they were before. He's made the turn as close behind me as ever. But now it's like, poor Margaret. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Margaret turn around to try to come back to us, only to have the bridge in front of her fall away. Oof. I slow down for a breath, feeling the impulse to turn back, but ignore it. There's no time. Margaret can make the jump, and then she'll rejoin us. I keep my eyes glued to the guide's back, ears perked for Margaret's footsteps, approaching behind us. And then I hear it. A scream. I whip around, sliding to a stop. Margaret is sinking. The bridge she's on is sinking into the water. Uh-oh. She's disappearing. She didn't jump.
What are you doing?
Margaret's head shoots up, her face drained of all color.
Jump!
She stumbles near the edge of the bridge, staring at the placid water of the lake. Even from a distance, I can see her shaking. I can't say if it is from the bridge's descent or her own fear. She barely seems to remain standing. I swallow painfully. Margaret bends and tries to jump. She curves in a small arc. Oof, achieving more height than she should, and lands directly in the lake with a muted splash. Oh no! Is this new? Did we not jump before? I don't remember this image. No! Is Margaret gonna freaking die again? No! What the hell? I don't remember this. Bemele starts beside me, but I grab his hand and pull. We start running again, leaving Margaret flailing in the water behind us. No! Oh shit, she's dead. No! Margaret, why do you always die? What? Is this supposed to happen? I don't remember this. Is this because we weren't... I was making choices that didn't let me bond with her? Like, what? What? Why? Why does she always have to die? Oh my god. I'm so salty. We don't need to watch this. We both know exactly what will happen to her now. Oof. Margaret's anguished cries pierce the night. Then the screaming stops. Oh, that was horrible! My legs grow weak. It isn't right. But I push myself to keep going. Oh, I'm so upset. Bemele curses between heavy breaths, calling those things every foul name in his large book. I try to focus on the pounding of my feet, but my brain won't cooperate. Instead, I imagine Margaret's terror as she's clawed to pieces by the Nixie. Ooh, that's horrible. After everything, I didn't help her. We left her in the dark. As the night wears on, our strength rapidly fades. How much longer will this last? People have to rest sometime. Almost as if in response to my thought, the guide abruptly halts. I skid to a stop as well, sliding on the surface of the wood.
Why did we stop?
Bemele's voice is tired, but his guard is up. The guy doesn't answer, just stares at something slightly out of view. I step up to join him, following his gaze further down the path. Oh, it's Lou. There, curled in a little ball, illuminated by the lantern's light, cowers a person. Well, I think we already know what's gonna happen here. We ain't gonna save you, Lou. Like we did the first time. Oh, so he said this. No, we can't just leave him here without light. It's certain he'll die.
He won't make it regardless.
Well, yeah, probably. But he would have died anyway. Even it's kind of sad knowing he's kind of doomed no matter what. The guide turns to look at us, his eyes seeming to glow from the closeness of his lantern. For the first time, I feel uncomfortable in his presence.
Whoever shelters him will only risk dragging themselves down with him. Leave him.
I glance at my partner. Bemele is outraged, trying to think of some kind of compromise when the guide speaks again, his voice cutting.
If the man comes, then whoever is shielding him will have to remain at a distance from the rest of the group. Far enough that you can't see me, just my light. That is how you will travel across the bridges. I didn't agree to lead this man, and I won't. If you ask me to, I will leave you all behind.
Yeah, you douche. Adrenaline surges through my veins and I tense up. It's a painful reminder that the guide isn't here to save our lives, but merely to show us the way. We're on our own. Bemele and I frantically share more looks between each other, trying to communicate without words. Neither of us have the desire to speak and be the first to make a choice. The man is standing now, though still hunched with his arms wrapped around himself as if expecting a blow. He stares at the ground rather than at us. Because of this, I'm having trouble reading his face. What exactly happened to him? I'm sorry, Lou. Even though I kind of got to like you a little more, I still don't like you with Kikka. I don't know. I don't think you really deserve her. She's too good for you.
Are you well, stranger? Do you know where you are and why you're here?
He glances up, not at me, but towards me, his eyes resting somewhere near my collarbone.
I'm fine. You all can go on your way. Forget you even saw me here.
Yes, sir. That's what I will do.
That's absurd. You have no way to defend yourself. We can't leave you.
Yes, I'm sure in your eyes I might not seem like much, but that's not exactly a fair shake. Maybe in a perfect world, every man would be as large as you. But that's not how things always go. Doesn't mean I'm defenseless.
Psh, yes, you are. Pretty much. The man's response is meandering. The words themselves seem to be in good jest, but he's still barely looking at us, fidgeting with his hands. Bemele frowns, unimpressed.
It was a joke.
You always do that, don't you, Lou? He smiles hesitantly, making eye contact with each of us for the first time.
What part of it was supposed to be the joke? Do you even realize what is happening in this moment?
Never mind. Forget that too. Point is, I'm alright.
You have found yourself out alone and unlit on Sinlos.
Exactly. Something must be wrong with you.
Yeah, he's a criminal.
Oh no, sounds like you've been talking with my father.
Dude. He lets out a weak little laugh coupled with an eyebrow raise, voice trembling. No one really knows what to make of this. The man gives a small wave and begins down the path we came. Bemele huffs, tossing his hands into the air.
That's not even the right way.
It is for me.
Oh? You must have come quite a ways if it was the other shore you started on.
The man's smile grows.
Good. That's not so bad.
There's no response to this remark, unsure of what could be said.
I still think he should come with us. A person needs a light, and the guide himself said he won't be able to manage on his own. Sticking with us is his best option.
I look over the man's body, noting the scrawniness of his limbs. Okay, blah blah blah. We've seen all this.
It's easy for you to say such things, but whose light are you offering? It's not mine, and you are putting her in even more danger with your own presence already.
Bemele's hands turn into fists. He looks away, but he doesn't say anything. For a moment, no one does. I feel a cold sweat on my brow as what I feared comes to pass. He's stopping us from protecting another. Why must he get involved now? Why can he not leave us to make our own decisions?
You... Don't worry about me. I'll be on my way now.
The man's voice is full of something I cannot place. Yeah. The guy wants to act as though there is no option. However, I could stay back with him. We are not. I'm sorry, Lou. You're on your own. I can't risk it. Bemele stares at the man as he leaves. We both watch him drag his little frame down the bridge, quickly fading from sight. Alright, now we should be back on track to stuff we've seen before. We had to let him go. We've already suffered the loss of one of our own. The space the man vanished into is dark and silent. We can see and hear nothing of him, not even his footsteps. The guide was right. There are no other options. Well, that is what I have to believe. We need to get through this somehow, and being weighed down with guilt will only distract us. The guide starts moving again at a quick pace. After a moment's hesitation and one last glance into the truly lifeless fog, we run to catch up to him. We walk onwards in silence. Our party hasn't changed. The stranger was never added to it, so it's not as if it makes sense to miss him. But there's a sense of loss all the same. No one even attempts mirth. I keep thinking I should have done more. Should have pushed the guide harder to change his mind so it was less dangerous to keep the man around. Something, anything. But I have to let this go. I'm not going to forget that man. I'll never forget him, but we still need to get through this. Dude, what about Margaret? Okay. Push forward. Different path, guide stops. Oh, crap. Well, that's not good. Bunch of prowlers, as if they knew we were coming. Prowlers wriggle somehow, their skin moving more slowly than it should, sliding across their skeletons. They laugh.
We cannot lose another lantern at this point. We're almost to the island.
The guide rummages through his coat with his free hand.
What are you planning?
Bemele's tone is borderline threatening, but the guide ignores him. He pulls out a small pouch, then opens a latch on his lantern.
Wait, are you going to throw that at them? What if the bridge sets on fire?
It will. We're going to run.
This is insane! These bridges are hellish enough without them also being on fire. And what about the other man? If he's still out there, this could...
He's dead. We're not losing another lantern.
He says it with such detached certainty. It's as if he saw it happen himself. No one argues with him. The guide steps closer to the prowlers. We fall into step behind him, staying close to his back. He bends his lantern back down until it is lowered to his outstretched arm. The pouch in his hand is set aflame. With a practiced flick of the wrist, he swings the staff back and up. The glass in the lantern snaps closed.
Don't get left behind.
Here we go. He takes 3 quick steps, then tosses the pouch. Prowlers are back in the water before the pouch even lands. As soon as it does, the fire starts to lick and curl itself around the wood. The guide breaks into a sprint, and so do the rest of us. The blaze grows despite the heavy dampness from the lake. These bridges aren't normal. Okay. Bemele and I manage to keep our ground, as does the guide. He presses on without even bothering to see if we were able to follow. Bemele growls in frustration as we push to keep up with the guide's pace. Anything else I can skip? I see it. Almost there. Safety at long last in sight. New energy surges through me. We push ourselves faster, longing to put these godforsaken bridges behind our backs. Okay. All at once, the bridge ends and our entire group rushes ashore. Earth, solid earth, a haven from the water. I catch my breath while still moving even farther away from the dark shoreline. Can't believe we actually made it. Even more difficult is the idea that we're only halfway done. When night falls once more, we have to do it all again. A heavy arm falls across my shoulders, and I straighten to see Bemele smiling wearily at me.
Good work out there.
It's not the usual commendation of a job well done. There's sadness, perhaps even sympathy in the sentence. It ends flatly. Usually, Bemele's comfort and good nature gives me at least the urge to smile, but right now it feels like a hollow victory. Despite still having the comfort of one another, we were incapable of doing any true good. We were only able to save ourselves. A quiet moment passes between us. And then the guide is there. He moves so smoothly that his steps on the soft sand are nearly silent, and his dusky clothes blend with the thinning of the night.
The sun will rise soon. The fire on the bridge is the only reason this island isn't overrun with prowlers right now. However, they could still pose a threat.
Bemele levels an empty look towards the guide.
Is there something we should do?
Okay, he's supposed to say come, but I didn't hear him say it. Okay, so we're at the island now, so this is like the midpoint. So I'm gonna actually save this over here. But that will be it for today's episode. A lot of skipping because it's stuff we've seen before. And I'm very sad that Margaret's dead again. Like, what the heck, this poor girl. And poor Lou. Poor Lou. But alright, that will be it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. And until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye.